Hello there. Brussels and the EU ambassador to London are not happy bunnies right now. Firstly, please subscribe and like this video to give my channel a boost. And I'm always uploading new content, so please do check back daily. And a big thanks to my Patreon and PayPal supporters. Both Brussels and their EU ambassador to the UK, Joao Vale de Almeida, are a bit grumpy at present. And why? Because Boris Johnson has decided that the EU is not a proper nation state. Therefore, its ambassador should not be afforded the full diplomatic protections that a nation-state's representative would get. The UK intends to treat Almeida as the representative of an international organisation, not a sovereign country. And as this particular facet of the UK-EU future relationship was not mentioned in any of the Brexit agreements, then the UK can pretty much do what it wants. The Guardian reports, the UK has been insisting it will not give the EU ambassador to the UK, Joao Vale de Almeida, and his 25-strong mission the privileges and immunities afforded to diplomats under the Vienna Convention. The Foreign Office says it would set a precedent by treating an international body in the same way as a nation-state. Other international organisations would then apply, it says, leading to a proliferation of other such bodies seeking diplomatic status. But the European Union's ambassadors and their teams are given full diplomatic immunity in 142 other countries around the globe. Further, the EU ambassador would not have the privilege of presenting their credentials to Her Majesty. And Brussels has come out and said that there is no justification for the UK to do this, except maybe imitating the Donald, who did exactly the same thing in the US for a short time. While the EU's chief Brexit negotiator Michel Barnier said, "I hope that we will be able together to find a clever and objective solution to the status of the EU in London. I think it would be wise, in my view, for the UK to find a clever solution." And the EU's High Representative for Foreign Affairs, Josep Borrell, has written to the UK Foreign Secretary, Dominic Raab, to make clear his serious concerns. And the Director of Foreign Policy for the Centre for European Reform, Ian Bond, said that the attempt to downgrade the status of the EU delegation to the UK looks petty and guaranteed to cause ill will when the UK needs friends in Brussels. Further criticism came from the Conservative MP for Bournemouth East, Tobias Ellwood, who said, "This is simply petty. Biden commits to strengthening alliances, and we engage in silly spats which will not help strengthen security and trade cooperation. We are better than this." While the Chief of Staff to Theresa May when she was Prime Minister, Lord Barwell, tweeted, "Difficult to understand why the government is refusing to give EU diplomats full diplomatic status when A. We used to support this, B. Every other country does it, and C. On Christmas Eve the Prime Minister spoke warmly about what close friends we would be." Now it's being mooted that Boris is trying to needle the European Union by making clear that the UK is sovereign but that the EU is not. OK, I do get that, but surely there's more to this than petty political point scoring. Maybe it's being used as a lever to get Brussels to tone down some of the more overzealous, friction-causing actions of its border officials. Or maybe there's another reason. Now, one of the central planks to Brexit was our loss of sovereignty to the EU. Is Boris now saying that isn't actually true, that Brussels hasn't grabbed the sovereignty of its nation states? Or is he saying that the EU is not quite there yet, and that it's a good job we left before it did get there? So maybe there's some long-term strategy here, and it got me thinking along the following lines. Now, we're all aware of the concept of EU ever closer union and the erosion of national sovereignty it causes. And now that the UK has left the bloc, although there are rumblings in the interior, the Brussels machinery appears to be gearing up to accelerate the pace of ever closer union. And with every new directive and regulation, the EU will gradually move the power base from the nation states onto itself. And remember that the ever closer union plans include things like foreign policy, defence, and having a centralised finance and banking system, a treasury. So that would mean at some point in the future, the Eurozone and maybe even the whole EU would be functioning in law just like any other sovereign nation state, along the lines of the USA, for example. So if Brussels manages to shoehorn the few remaining EU countries not signed up to the euro to join the Eurozone, as well as give the EU control over foreign policy and defence, then that might just be the tipping point. And at that point, the UK could make the delicious switch of giving the EU ambassador full status and removing it from the likes of Germany, France, Italy, the Netherlands and Belgium. A big symbolic gesture that sends out a very powerful message. Consider that when the PM wants to talk to a US representative, he calls for the US ambassador. I've never heard of an ambassador for Texas, California or Oklahoma being called in for a chat. Have you? I mean, who would the UK government want to talk to? The organ grinder or the monkeys? And when the EU achieves the Guy Verhofstadt dream of being one united empire under Brussels, then the UK should recognise it as such. Can you imagine the squealing that would emanate from 27 EU member state capitals if that happened? All of them losing top-flight ambassadorial access to the PM overnight. We could call them EU county or regional representatives. Oh, that would hurt. And the EU Commission and probably the EU Parliament would be very pleased with the UK at that point, because it would affirm their positions as the executive and democratic centres of the European Union. But the EU Council of the EU27 leaders would probably cry in their beers and be unable to do much about it. And then we pour salt on the wounds and congratulate the EU27 for their heroic acts of self-defenestration. And also commiserate with France as they hand over their seat on the UN Security Council to the EU Commission. We can but dream. So when looking at the position from this perspective, it does make some sense to downgrade the position of EU ambassador, for the time being anyway. Anyway, if you want to hear more from me, please don't forget to subscribe and also press that little bell, or you won't get any notifications. And if you want to see more of me, buy a mug with my mug on it by following the link in the descriptions box below, and support me on Patreon or PayPal. So what do you think about this? Please share and comment, and thank you for watching.